All right, so welcome. This is the Dialstation speech. I'm very proud to be here with my colleague T. I'm going to present ourselves, and we're going to present Dialstation, open telephony service run by Telekommunisten. And I'm going to start with us. So here besides me it's T, and I am Kapi. T, you want to say something about yourself?
Yeah, hello, welcome. My name is T, or Jan Minagawa, and I'm more or less addicted to telephony since 20 years now. It started when I was 10 or something. I spent hours and hours talking to my friends and my family with a phone, and it stopped more or less in the 90s when telephony became a lot more complicated. But then I learned a lot of, or I met a lot of interesting telephony applications, which in Germany called Mehrwertdienste. And I also spent some time by telephoning around the world by using some bridges and so on. And so later I learned a lot about computers, and I learned in the last 5 years how to do telephony by myself. And Asterisk was a big part which opened this gate for me. So this is a bit about my background in telephony.
Thank you. And I'm just a software developer, mostly with web development, but recently also with telephone software. And together we form, or we are part of a larger group called Telekommunisten. It's not really a company, it's more or less a bunch of people. We are some hackers and artists, and located mostly in Berlin, some in Canada. And together we came up with a new product, Dialstation.com. It allows you basically to do cheap calls. That's mostly true for international calls.
And yeah, so the idea to run a user-based service came up by the Telekommunisten somewhere in 2006. In mid of 2006, we started to write together a Soho solution based on Asterisk, and to give people a hosted PBX. It was more or less a business product, so not for private customers. It was not that successful, or we were not that successful in selling it. So then we started to think about a user or an end-user oriented service, and then we came up with Dialstation, the first version, which was ready in May 2007. It was basically using Asterisk, Django, no, it was using Yate, Django, and some web stuff around. And we started in May, 1st of May 2007, the first version, which was really an alpha test, and we spread it a bit around people here in Berlin and in Canada and in France. And then after half a year, we decided to do a complete rewrite of the solution, and this is where mainly Kapi also came into our team. And by the beginning of that year, we started to rewrite the service using the Ruby on Rails framework, which is the main component. We call it Dialstation Manager. So this manager has control of everything. We will go into detail of that later. The second part is the software called FreeSwitch, and I'm really proud to announce here today that FreeSwitch is since today available in the version 1.0. So if you like to play around with it, go and download it now. And the third part is more or less the Zend framework, which is a PHP framework, and we use it for our client, so for our web interface. Yeah, and the product we actually do, what we offer the customer, is that they can make international calls via direct numbers. So that means they register to their account a phone number, which then bridges them to somewhere, to some destination. So in Berlin, you call a Berlin number, and then you get directed to wherever you want to call, and you pay your Berlin call to your local provider, and the rest of the termination you pay to us via prepaid.
Okay, so what's so special about it? It's not only an open service, which means everybody can register and use the service, but we also give away the whole infrastructure and the whole software for free. So it's a complete open source software project, and that actually means that you can install all of the components yourself on some regular ISP server, and you can run what we run yourself as well. And we also will tell you about the rest of the infrastructure, so with which providers and termination services we've got contracts. So it is our goal to make this knowledge available for free, and so everybody can copy and clone our service and run it by themselves.
Yeah, so actually, I would like to call it a free service according to what Stallman, or what defined as at the 4 freedoms of software for a service. But if we call actually a service a free service, everybody thinks of it's free of charge, and that isn't it. But it's free to run it for yourself, to clone it with our tools. The reason for it is there are several. Can you go to the next one?
No, we show it first.
Okay. There's mainly the reason that we like that others help us to make our service better. The second is that it gets cheaper and better for the customer if we share resources with others. So if we share our termination, if we share our servers, if we share the knowledge. And the reason is also for the customer, it gives them the possibility to say, okay, I really like this service, but there are some special things I would like to add and we are not able to. Whatever, then he can say, okay, then I like the service as it is, but I want to add some things more, and he can run it by himself. This is of course a really theoretical example, and I haven't seen so far someone who did it, but I like to see in future people which do something like that.
Okay, so enough abstract talking. I guess we show you now the actual service we are running. So that's not it. If you go to dialstation.com, you will see something like this. So that's just the welcome page, and behind it you can register your own account. And after logging in, the main feature of Dialstation is this PDNs, we call it PDNs, personal direct numbers. So here you see a bunch of Berlin telephone numbers, and if I call them from my mobile phone, I get routed to the much, for me, more expensive phone number here. So for example, I use it a lot to call to Austria, because then I pay like 1 cent per minute from my mobile, which is much cheaper than my local German mobile provider could ever give me. I can register some phones. I just give you a quick walk through the application as it is right now. It's in heavy development. We are online since 1st of May, and so we implemented some basic SMS features. And here is a very rough looking, but actually working list of the call detail records, and I can, of course, I can pay some money. And at the moment we have only one payment provider, but this should change soon. So that's the front end, that's like the user sees it. And what the user normally does not see